Okay guys, this is a really important video on what tyre size. A lot of people are asking what tyre size and what's the biggest I can go, what's the biggest tyres I can put on after I put a 2-inch lift, and if I do that, what's the biggest tyres I can put on? Okay, it's not all about the biggest tyres, okay? The biggest tyres might just cause you some problems, and even a little bit bigger tyres might cause you some problems. So it's really important you listen really carefully. It doesn't matter what you look at, because I'm just killing two birds with one stone, driving down the road, getting my business done, and hopefully helping you and educating you. So this is the deal, right? Standard size tyres. Now this is why. I'll give you all the reasons why, okay? We're talking about Prados for a minute here. This is going to vary. It's going to be different for everybody. So depending what car you've got, what it came out with, whether it's a, what model, what type of use you're using it for. So there's a lot of variables. So you don't need to get excited and go, oh no, and have a dummy spit because you want to have 33s or whatever, right? Whatever suits you. General advice. Now here's the answer, right? So we specialize in Prados and stuff. We drive Prados. We use them off-road. We've done so for years. So we'll kind of share a bit of uncommon sense trying to make it common again, so you understand what I mean. Now the 265 65 17 is probably the best size tire because Toyota said so. That's how they've engineered the vehicle. The whole vehicle, all the gearing, the diffs and everything, it all works really well with that size. Now you put bigger tires on. Let's just give an example, right? 265 70 17, right? They're maybe almost an inch bigger on the overall diameter, so it takes you from about, we're going to round it up from 31s to 32s. It's actually about 30.5 inches to about 31.5, but thereabouts, right? We're talking about 10 millimeters of clearance. 10 millimeters. Do you know how small that is? Get your finger there and don't look at it the wide way, the flat way. Grab it and give it a squeeze, just at the top of your fingernail. And that's the sort of clearance we're talking about, right? Who cares about that much clearance? Oh, better go to 33s then. Go up the next size. Now, get your finger, turn it sideways. If you got small fingers, maybe 2. Not really. It's about 20 millimeters, an inch worth of clearance extra for going to 33s. Now, this is what you get for that. And people with 33s are going to go, oh, mate, And look, of course, it gives you a little bit more clearance, and it does make a bit of difference, but it can't make the world of difference, right? Because it's just the clearance isn't there to make the world of difference. It's coincidence if you think that that works so much better than 31s or 32s, right? It's just coincidence. The clearance isn't there. You went somewhere that was a bit harder, you got stuck, you went to the bigger tyres, you got lucky. You haven't been in the same spot on the same day in the same wet slipperiness, right? Or on the same tyre. It's the type of tyre maybe you changed to while you were changing the size. You went to a really aggressive mud tyre instead of a all-terrain or something. Now, the disadvantage is just quickly on bigger tyres. Now, if you put bigger tyres on, you've geared the vehicle up, right? So you've just geared it up. So a couple of things that happen, and I've mentioned these sorts of things in other videos, but I just wanted to put a new perspective on it. And I've got an idea at the end, well, it's not at the end, but we'll get to it, that's going to help you even more than bigger tyres. It's going to get you further on the tracks, and it's really simple, but we'll get to that. The disadvantages of bigger tyres, right? Because you've geared it up, when you're coming down a hill, the vehicle's going to be going faster, right? Say you're in low first and it's steep and all that, and you're just letting it come down using the compression, it's going to go a little bit faster, right? And it doesn't make a massive difference, but it does make some difference, right? I'm just getting distracted by this stinking turbo diesel Audi in front of us, right? And it's not that old. As I said, it's never the Toyotas. I shouldn't say never, but the Toyotas are most of the vehicles out there on the road. But it's always these other brands blowing the smoke. But anyway, see, easily distracted. So it comes down the hills a bit faster. You've geared the vehicle up, right? So it's labouring more, right? It's in a higher gear taking off in first. It's in a higher gear in second, okay? I've explained this in other videos, so have a look at those. The main thing I wanted to say is, so you've geared it up. It's going to use more fuel, worse fuel economy type thing. In some vehicles it can be better, so in some vehicles it can be worse. But generally, and the ones we specialise in, it's worse. Look at that, just pumping out constant. Can you see that? It's 4K video. I don't know if you can see it. Look at that. Oh, that's putrid. Glad I got it on recirculate. That's what recirculates for, guys. That stuff will kill you, and that's why whatever you do, stick with Toyotas. All these other brands, I can't even say it because I don't swear in videos. They're piles of, yeah, they're just pox. Totally pox, all right? Rubbish cars, okay? I just want to give you a quick little fact there. I'm pretty sure that Audis are designed to last 4 years. I know, look, none of you got Audis anyway, and if you have, you're selling them. We've just devalued them even more. In case you didn't know, they might be expensive new, but as soon as you go to sell it, nobody wants one, and they're bargain basement prices. And that's because nobody knows about them, they don't want to work on them, they're pox and whatever, distracted again. So, what are you going to do to get up those tracks if you can't use bigger tyres? Well, the experience I've got, I've used 30s, 31s, 32s, those sorts of size tyres, and years ago we used to all do it. We all went for the 265, 70, 17, and they were hard to get a hold of, and now, because everybody buys them, they're quite easy to get a hold of. So there's plenty of options out there in the last sort of 5 years. Now, if you go back an inch in tyre size, that means only an inch, half an inch in clearance, you know what I mean? So not much in it. It's actually about 10 mil, depending on which tyres, how much difference it makes, okay? So there's variables there. We're talking ballpark. And we talk in inches because, I don't know why, I'd rather talk metric, but let's look at a tyre just momentarily. It's 265 millimeters wide. It's 65% wider than it is high. So that's a percentage. And then the wheel's still in inches, 17, 17. So, give us a metric measurement on a tyre, please. Not metric, a percentage, and imperial, like total mix-up. But anyway, so that's why we talk about tyres in, say, 30s, 31s, 32s, right? Because the wheels are still talked about in inches. Okay, so how are you going to get up these tracks? Well, you've actually got to drive right. Please drive right. So what I mean by that, instead of getting all a bit excited, I've got my big tyres, and you just go racing up the track fast as you can, slow down a little bit, right? Just slow down, take your time, look at the track, read the track, learn the track, learn to keep your wheels on the ground, avoid those holes. Your vehicle's got limited travel, so it's got limited flex, if you like, in the suspension. So therefore, pick the wrong line, it starts lifting a wheel, or almost lifting a wheel. And when it's almost lifting, there's no weight on it, so it spins. This isn't full driving 101. I'm just trying to get you to think. And I would like to tell you, you can get so much further. You'll get 10 times further driving right, okay? Driving right on 30s or 31s. Let's say 31s. We're all calling them 31s, round it up. You're going to get so much further on 31s driving right, in most cases, than you are being an average driver on 32s, okay? So we've had 32s, we know where they go. We've been back on 31s. Like I said, I didn't like you're gearing it up. I probably don't prefer the aftermarket wheels. Every time there's a problem with studs breaking off and stuff like that, and wheel problems, it's always aftermarket wheels. Genuine wheels are tough, they're solid. It's designed to work with that offset, okay? To have standard tyres, you don't have to mess around with the offset. You're not messing around with the handling. Pros and cons of messing around with offsets. People have bearings fail prematurely when you go for different offsets. Keep it Toyota reliable, okay? Standard size tyres, whatever type tyres suit you, that's another video, right? But take the time to learn, read the track, understand how the vehicle works, wheel placement, where you place your wheels on that track, and using what gear, what high low range selection, what tyre pressure, whether you've got traction control, a locker or not, what speed to approach it, when to put the gas on, whether to put it on hard or soft or gradual, maybe using that second start button, using that center diff lock, using that rear diff lock, whatever it is, right? Using these things are going to get you so much further than gearing your vehicle up with the next size tyres or the next one after that, because that didn't work, okay? So that's the idea of the video. I just want to help you before you go to those bigger tyres, and then you just make it so sluggish, then you just want to go and get a chip and a tune, and that's another video, we're not going there. You've made it sluggish by putting the bigger tyres on, okay? And all the modifications on the vehicle, right? Then you need to go and get your diffs done. You're just wasting all this money, right? Then you all this gear that you don't need, and getting your diffs done to re-gear it for the bigger tyres. And quite often what happens, the same people that are putting these bigger tyres, they want to have a bigger lift or whatever the case may be, and quite often then you need diff drops, and this isn't a diff drop video, but then the diff drop means your diff comes low, you need to drop your bash plate, and then you got the same clearance again anyway because you just drop your bash plate. So just to briefly touch on the next step, but this one was really to get you to think about driving right, okay, drive right, okay. We're going to call this one drive right, and or what size tyres do I need, what's the biggest tyres I can fit on a 2-inch lift, whatever, okay. Don't worry what you can fit. Here we go, car doing a U-turn right in front of us. Oh, look at this. Oh, he's going to back up. Got that one on video. Yeah, that's a good one, wasn't it? Yeah. And you know what, this is the sort of thing that happens all the time, you know, nothing new to me. I've been on the roads, I don't know, nearly 30 years, and it's not the first time that I've avoided what could be a full-on bingle, head-ons and all sorts of things. And maybe that's why sometimes I get a bit emotional and get a bit serious about things. Like the time I was driving along in the caravan, swaying up, you know, he's got the sways up, you know, the towing video, some people didn't like it, but you know, get off your phones for a start. You know, rules are made for, you know, rules are made because of people like that, right? You know, just think about where you're going to stop and turn around. This is a 100k road, okay? It's quite a busy 100k road. Lucky there wasn't a car close behind me. There is a car who's quite a way back. There was a, he saw what was going on, luckily, right? That's the next thing, right? You stop to avoid that. Yes, I could have gone a bit to the left, but I wasn't prepared to risk it because he was backing up, right? So that was the decision. I want to make this point. This is a driving tip video as well, right? Surprise, surprise. What I'm absolutely sick to death of is the people, okay, let's just say I was turning here. I'm putting my right indicator on, I'm turning, right? And I'll move over to the line here to get out of the way of people. There's enough room on the left side in a lot of places for cars to go past, especially four-wheel drives, right? It's a bit rough on the edge, whatever. Doesn't matter. If you've got a four-wheel drive, you can see this rough, okay, these stones here, for example, you can just drive a little bit of a hole there, no big deal, but you can go around. Now, this is the problem I've got with people's driving. They hit the brakes and stop and move over, but don't go past. So you're moving left like you're going to go past, but you're not, but you've stopped. Please, if you're going to stop over to the right behind the car and don't go past them, or slow down to a safe speed, and if it's clear, go past on the left side. Don't slow right down or completely stop while moving left and blocking that pathway. Well, then what's even better? Then you just take off and get going again and go past on the left, you know? Just think, people, right? Someone's turning. Okay, slow down, stop, and stay behind them. If you're going to go around, go around. And indicate any change of direction. That's what they're there for. That's what the rules are. The rules are to make it safe, better for everyone, okay? Not hard to do. Anyway, guys, we just had our little bit of excitement and our little driving tips 101. Maybe we should do a video on driving instruction. Anyway, talking about driving instruction, if you are new to owning, look, I'm not going to do this for anyone in any full drives, but if you're new to owning a Prado and you're inexperienced and you want to get some help with operating the vehicle, how to drive it, how to pick the line, I've got no official qualifications. I just know vehicles. I know these vehicles well. I know how they work. I've used them a lot. So if you want to trust my judgment and book some time with me, one-on-one, as I've mentioned before, or more than one-on-one, you can have a small group. We can get a few people together, talk to me, let me know what you would like, and I will put a package together for you so that we can get you out there and teach you how to use the vehicle so that you can stay safe and get the most out of it without damaging it, and so that you can get out there and have a look around and have some fun. Alright guys, that covers it, doesn't it? Learn how to drive. Don't worry about big tyres. There he goes the other way, big tyres. No, not too bad. I thought we were going to get an example on the road of someone with some big tyres, you know, and the big tyres sticking out 2 inches out from the side of the car, which is illegal for a reason. You're just throwing all that mud and rocks all over the cars behind you. And while we're talking about safety, one more mention towards the end. I had this clown the other day. I'm glad he was in front of me. He must have had some of those El Cheapo HID headlight upgrades, right? He was in an AU Falcon, you know, bop, bop, doof, 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 you know, with all the stickers and all the stuff hanging off the mirrors and whatever. And you know what? I was looking at the car in front of him. It was lighting up the car in front of him, mate, like he had spotlights on, right? And the whole road, the reflection of the signs, half a K down the road, right? Dodgy as. Please respect other people on the road. Take note of what those lights you're purchasing are and if they're any good. They're probably illegal. They need to have a nice cut-off line on them so they're not in people's eyes. If your headlights are lighting up inside the vehicle in front of you, change your globes, get your headlights aimed, whatever it is, because this is what ends up causing accidents and getting people killed, okay? We don't need it. There's enough drama already without these little things that we can control. So please, I know you might not know, you might have got some eBay cheapies. That's why I'm telling you. I hope some of these people are watching as well and you've stuck around. There's your tips for the day. Learn how to drive. Wheel placement is everything compared to tyre size. I'll take wheel placement. You know what? You don't need a locker, but a locker is going to take you a lot further than tyre size, okay? Now, if you're stuck in the rut, someone's dug out with 33s, 34s, 35s or 38s, you're in trouble anyway. I suggest you stay off those tracks, turn around, get out of there, especially if it's wet. And if it's not wet, you can get out of the ruts. Anyway, guys, that's long enough. I'm out of here. Have a nice day. Catch ya.